Welcome to update number 2 of the Mountain and Western Railroad. Haven't done much since the last update. Added a couple of buildings to the layout and a little apple orchard. So sitting in the middle of the yard, I've added a new yard office. Lovely little kit that really enjoyed making, and it fits in quite well into this little area of the layout. And then moving around, we come to my apple orchard. This was based on a photo that I had run across with my Model Railway Club. We're building a layout based in the Canadian and Washington Cascade area, Rocky area, and one of the photos in one of the books on the Burlington Northern through the Cascades was this shot of a loco going through an apple orchard in flower. And when I saw it, I said, yeah, I've got to have a go at building that. So I've put together over 60 trees there at the present moment, and I'm going to have to add a few more to fill in the rest of the area and get my orchard fully going. As you can see, as I move back, the area that I had identified in the previous video, this area down here, still don't know what I'm going to put there. Just don't know. I've added a little bit of scenic texture instead of the bare boards. But I was thinking of putting in some houses. But one of the things I'm finding as I've gone through a lot of the online shops is trying to find kits of houses. There's a couple of little wood kits of company homes, but they're very small, and I want sort of a little bit more than that. I'm sure Americans don't live in a little 2-room hut, but trying to find some decent kits of houses is really getting hard. Moving over, I haven't done much with the gravel loader. I'm going to be putting in some bits and pieces down here. I've seen some photos of various gravel and mineral items, and they have bays of the different types of gravel, and I'm going to put some bays in there, concrete bays, and add some ballast into that, and then probably add a little bit more detail onto the ground. And then coming over here, I've got a couple more buildings. I've got to work a little bit on the truck down here to still have some of the load coming off. Still have to put trees onto this section of the layout. I actually ran into a real problem with this section. Underneath that bald hill, I had a bolt holding this section of the layout to the upper section of the layout. And I had a requirement where I needed to get that section of the layout lifted up. It's designed to be able to be lifted up so I can get access to the tracks underneath. But I'd forgotten about the bolt that I had going through connecting the top level to that board. And I cannot reach it from underneath. So what I had to do was cut along the edges. And then I can basically lift up the hill and I can get at my bolt. So I've built it so that I've got a little bit of patching to do over in this section here where it got a little bit carried away, but it's actually worked out quite well. And I think if I put a few blotches around here, it'll camouflage the cut, but it's going to stay like that now. And the final piece that I've added is a new building here in Grandview. And this is actually my first attempt at a real scratch-built product. Originally I'd planned to put in a factory being demolished. There's a Tomix kit available of the factory but being demolished. But when I worked on it, I got it and I looked at it and started pulling it apart and looking at the pieces, it was so grossly overscale. It was hopeless as far as the look of it is concerned. And I just basically said, nah, that's it. I'm not going to do it. But I wanted something here. It was a non-rail or served site. So what I did is I got some evergreen H-beams and I-beams and put together this factory. The wall at the back here is individual pieces of aluminium foil cut so that it looks like corrugated iron, and that's been glued onto the stringers so that it appears now that I've got a building under construction. We have the construction office over here, a couple of people working on it, as you might have seen, and all in all, it's not the first attempt I had at the building was hopeless. It was all over the place. Even this one, you can still see the little dip in the roof line there. But, all that's holding together is the evergreen strips. So, and no matter how hard I tried to get it as square as possible, I'm afraid I tend to rush things a little bit, and it just didn't quite work out. Well, that's about all I can say for this update. So stay safe, and I'll be putting out a new one. I don't know when, but I'll be putting out another update as I do some more work. Bye.